Part 2 about why I beat up my best friend. So like I said, I learned how to do my hair and makeup, and she went on vacation for like a month straight. Well, when she came home, she threw another party, and she was like, don't worry, after I'm done getting ready, I'll do your makeup and do your hair. And I was like, no, it's fine, I got it. She literally looks at me and she goes, are you sure? You don't really know how to do that. Like, it'll probably look really bad. And I'm like, why the fuck would you say that? She goes, no, like, I don't mean it to be rude. It's just that, like, I want you to look good in front of the boys and stuff like that. Like, sis tried to talk me into getting a shower for a full, like, 20 minutes. So after that, the whole night, she's literally being a pick-me girl. She's making all these comments about me in front of the boys, and I just keep brushing them off until her next party. We got ready, and I put on these expensive shoes that I had just bought, and she goes, wow, you just, like, really like to copy my style, don't you? So she starts making comments that whole night about how my family's poor and stuff like that, and she threw up all over my shoes. So I dumped the trash can that everybody had threw up in that night on her, punched her in the face, but like 2 months later, she came to my house and apologized. Part 2, is blood thicker than water? Metaphorically speaking, of course. So like I said, my sister started spending more time at my boyfriend's house. I thought that she was lonely, but then my boyfriend started acting weird and all the signs pointed to him cheating on me. But I ignored it because I thought that him and I were in love like in the movies. And also, if I broke up with him, it would be like breaking up with his family because I loved them like my own. Fast forward, his sister ends up getting married and my sister and I were invited to the wedding. Fast forward, everybody gets drunk. We end up spending the night at his cousin's house and something was off with my boyfriend. He wasn't really talking to me. He wouldn't touch me. He pretty much acted like he was done with me. Well, then there's my sister who was flirting and touching him like it was normal. Fast forward a month, I asked my sister if anything happened between them. And she goes, I think we slept together. So I confronted him about it. And he just laughs and he's like, it wasn't that serious. So I end up breaking up with him and then I start finding unhealthy ways to cope, aka drinking. And eventually I got so lonely to the point where I forgave my sister. And then I started seeing this other guy. And he was amazing, like for part 3.
That I've been waiting to tell you guys for the past like 2 years, and now that I'm finally graduated, I can actually talk about it, so buckle up. Okay, it all starts off from with my English teacher. We'll just call him Mr. Brown, and I low-key always got bad vibes from him, and he just wasn't nice to me, and overall just kind of seemed like a weird guy. But all of my suspicions about him were confirmed later that year, okay, let me tell you. So my mom is single, right? She's ready to mingle, so she has this dating app called Match. And one day she was just swiping through and she landed upon Mr. Brown. And she showed me because she recognized him. And let me tell you, I was shocked because Mr. Brown has a wife. And he'd always even talk about his wife in class and how they'd been together for a super long time and they had 4 kids together. And now I'm seeing this guy in Match.com and he swiped right on my mom. And I'm like, this is weird. And I mean, I do want to say, I guess there's a chance that they were separated at the time for whatever reason. And, you know, maybe he wasn't cheating. But in my mind, because I already didn't like him, he's a cheater. He definitely knew that I knew that he swiped right on my mom, which just made it very awkward for the whole rest of high school.
Story time. Is blood really thicker than water? Metaphorically speaking, of course. So a little background information. I was 16 years old and I was in 10th grade. And I had just started dating this guy that my friends introduced me to. He was extremely attractive, really smart, and really kind. Literally had all the traits a girl could want in a boyfriend. So him and I are talking for a while and then we start dating and we were amazing together. And my sister had just came back home from teaching in Thailand. Surprisingly, her and I got super close because we always used to fight with each other. And now we were inseparable. The only issue was she was 25 years old acting like a child. She always wanted to be at my boyfriend's house with him and his family. Weird, I know. Anyway, so she was always over there with them and I thought that maybe she was just lonely. Wrong, of course. Now, of course, like any other relationship, mine wasn't perfect, but my boyfriend and I started having more problems than usual when my sister showed up. He was being super weird and all the signs pointed to him cheating on me, like for part 2.
My fiancé and I are high school sweethearts and we've been together for about 12 years. We were engaged for around 3 when he passed away due to an accident in the beginning of 2020. A few weeks ago, his brother came to visit me and he's planning to propose to his girlfriend. He asked me if he could have the family's engagement ring. The ring my fiancé gave me is a family ring which had been in the family for generations. I have been wearing this ring for almost 3 years and it's a symbol of our relationship. I don't feel ready to give it up. When I told him this, he got upset and said it's a family ring and it belongs to him now that his brother is dead. I told him to get out. I called his mom to let her know why I wanted to keep the ring. She told me she wouldn't have minded if I had been married to him, but I wasn't, so I'm not part of the family and therefore I should return the ring. She said I'll move on one day and it's unfair to hold on to a ring that I will never wear again, especially a ring that belongs to our family for generations. I would have at least considered giving back the ring in a few years. I just can't bear the thought of parting with this ring now. So I told her I'm sorry that she felt that way, but her son gave me this ring and I'm not giving it back. Since then, his mom and his brother have been spamming my phone with messages and calls about how I'm trying to steal their family ring. So am I wrong for wanting to keep the ring?
Story time, so make sure you grab a snack, sit back, relax, and let's get on with the chisme. This one's kind of a juicy one, so make sure you stay around for part 2. So I have this boyfriend, we're gonna go ahead and call him Gavin. Me and him started dating last year around May. He was one of those quote-unquote fuckboy jocks that everyone would gush over, and he would cheat on me all the time. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, he was getting away with it for a while. So then this one weekend in November, I ended up going with his family to their cabin during our school's holiday break, right? At this cabin, it was my boyfriend and I, his parents, his younger sister, and his older brother. We'll go ahead and call his older brother Carlos. Now, when we all went on vacation, his brother Carlos was a freshman in college. And me and Gavin were seniors in high school, so really there was only like a 1 or 2 year difference between the two of us. So then everything was going perfectly fine at this cabin, and it had already been a few days. That was until I got into a fight with my boyfriend because I caught him lurking on some girl's Instagram page. Mind you, this was not the first time. Like, I had caught him numerous times, whether it was in the car or while we were all laying down. I had already let him get away with it multiple times. So then after me and my boyfriend were done arguing, he went upstairs to go to bed, and I stayed downstairs watching a movie with his older brother Carlos and his younger sister. And I thought it was fine because we were all getting along.
So this morning, I literally ripped my nail off my thumb. I was digging through a bag of frozen fruit trying to get myself a banana. I ripped the nail off, fully rip it off, and it hurts so bad. And I'm like, you know what? It's fine. I'll get nail glue later. I go to Walmart and I'm looking for the nail glue, and I'm like, am I blind? Like, I don't see any here. Y'all, fully sold out of nail glue. So now for the rest of the weekend, I have to walk around with literally this. And anytime I go to grab something, it's like off because my nails, like the length different. Like at this point, I don't even know why I still have the nail. I'm keeping it in my purse for good luck now.
He also has a life insurance policy that she wants half of. I can't get a lawyer to talk to me without coming in for a $600 plus consult. Yeah. I'm hoping someone can give me some kind of direction so I can stop worrying about my children and I becoming homeless and focus on my fiance. This is in Ohio. Thank you.
Damn, that's so tough. And that was like a crazy wills and estates question I would get like on an exam. I feel like I had to like
put this?
Yeah.
What
yeah.
the
I mean,
fuck?
even weirder, but to test like your knowledge of.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's so wild. Then you have to like write a whole essay about it. But
Thank God I've never had to take a bar.
Oh my gosh. 2 days, 8 hours each day. I mean, it's so crazy. The answer to this was just like, it depends. I can't remember if Ohio is a community property state or not, but that is like the first question, is whether it's a community property.
Always been a big fan of nails with lots of charms like these, but I would hate the idea of going to the salon, sitting there for hours, spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars only for my nails to last for a month. And that's when I started looking into press-on nails in hopes of finding an alternative solution that would save me a lot more time and money. I was browsing through the web but couldn't find many designs that I liked in particular. Most of the press-on nails that I saw were either poor in quality or just too simple to what I was looking for. Like, where are all the press-on nails for those who wanted a bit more extra? Something a little more bolder, cuter, and edgier. And that's when I was determined to start my own press-on nails brand in order to bring this vision to life. So I reached out to a couple of nail studios to see if they were interested in creating some custom press-on nails for my brand. And I thought of the perfect brand name. Instead of Narcissist, I call it Nailcissist. Someone confident, expressive, and has a healthy obsession with their own nails. Just like how narcissists are all about themselves, Nailcissists are all about their nails. I designed my brand logos on Canva and proceeded to bring my brand vision to life. The trendiest and boldest press-on nails that are reusable at the fraction of the price that you pay in the salons. And that's pretty much the story behind my brand. Nailcissist will be launching in this August, so make sure you sign up to our mailing list to get early access. Thanks for watching!
Story time about how my best friend walks around naked in front of my boyfriend. Disclaimer, is not my story time, it's sending me on Instagram. That's when she came out of the bathroom in her bra and a pair of shorts. Mind you, we have a bunch of our friends over having dinner at my place. I get up from the table and I ask her what's up. That's when she says that it's way too hot in my apartment and that I needed to turn down the temperature. I told her I'd give her a t-shirt if she wanted to, and she said no. I'm comfortable in my body and I don't care if people look at me. When I look around, I see everyone staring at her. Obviously, all the guys are like oogling her goodies, but all the girls that are there with their guys are instantly upset. That's when my boyfriend bursts out laughing and says, "What's wrong with her?" She just starts laughing maniacally at what my boyfriend said. Then she goes and sits down next to my boyfriend and starts joking with him. You might be thinking I'm so stupid for this, but I decided to let it go. Oh yeah, she's also the type of person that never wants to go home. That's when I had to be honest with her and I told her that she was making everyone uncomfortable. And I asked her to leave, which she did. A few days later, she comes over to my place so that we can get ready to go out. My boyfriend was going to go out with his friends and I was going to go out with her. 2 seconds after she comes into my apartment, she walks out of the bathroom completely naked. And my boyfriend's just sitting there on the couch watching her. Story time about how my best friend walks around naked in front of my boyfriend. Disclaimer, it's not my story time, it's something on Instagram. That's when she comes out completely naked. You could see everything. Boobs, butt, and V. And my boyfriend is sitting on the couch. As she comes out of the bathroom, his jaw drops to the floor. Then she says to me, "Oh my god, I couldn't find a towel, sorry." She walks straight into the guest bedroom where she has her clothes. My boyfriend and I look at each other and I'm completely disgusted. He, on the other hand, thought it was hilarious, so he starts laughing. Then she comes out of the guest bedroom in panties and a bra. I mean, I guess at least she wasn't naked this time. That's when I tell her, "Do you need help getting dressed or something?" She says, "Oh no, girl, I'm just thirsty. I'm gonna get something to drink." So I said to her, "I'll get you something to drink. You can go get dressed." At this point, I had it. But guess what? This wasn't the last time. A few weeks later, I wanted to go to her place to get ready this time. But then she insisted on coming over to mine instead. That's when I got the feeling that she had done all of that to get my boyfriend's attention. And I straight up told her, "Are you just walking around naked at my place just because you want my boyfriend to see you?" Of course, she denied it. She says he's cute, but he's not that cute. What? Part 4. Story time about how my best friend walks around naked in front of my boyfriend. Disclaimer, is not my story time, it's on Instagram. At this point, she had been naked in front of my boyfriend twice, but it wasn't the last time. She came over to pick me up one time and I told her to wait for me downstairs. Well, instead of waiting for me downstairs, she decided to come up to my apartment. While I was in the bedroom changing, my boyfriend let her in. That's when she comes straight into my bedroom without even knocking and says, "Hey girl, do you have a dress I can wear?" The dress she was wearing was absolutely perfect. I asked her why and she said that she didn't feel sexy enough. Without even me saying yes, she started raiding my closet. Then she pulls out a very expensive dress I had not even put on yet. My boyfriend was standing in the doorway just watching the whole thing go down. I look at my boyfriend and he just rolls his eyes at me. Then out of nowhere, she takes off her dress and she's completely naked underneath. She looks at my boyfriend and says, "Oh, sorry, I didn't see there." My boyfriend turned around and walked away. I finally closed the door and confronted her about it. She told me that I'm a prude and that I needed to relax. I kicked her out and we haven't spoken since. She's been begging to talk to me and hang out. My boyfriend told me that if I felt uncomfortable around her, then for her not to come over. But he says that he's fine with her. His reaction also upset me too. What should I do? Ask my plastic surgeon to make my butt look bigger like Kylie's. Disclaimer, this is not my story time. It was sent to me on Instagram. By the way, at this point, I'd already had a full facelift and lots of body work done by the time I was 18. My plastic surgeon told me he wouldn't give me another round of butt filler. I was really upset. Then my parents asked me to come over. When I got to their house, they told me the plastic surgeon had called their house and told them that I was looking for more surgery. My parents were beginning to worry, but I assured them that everything was okay. I was not addicted to plastic surgery or anything like that. I just knew how competitive the modeling industry was. Instead, I decided to get filler in my face. I got my nose and my cheeks done. And that's when I started getting hired by more makeup companies. After a year, my Instagram following went from 100,000 to 1 million. I've modeled for over 50 brands and I'm currently planning my own brand. My Instagram followers are constantly accusing me of getting plastic surgery, but I've never admitted to anything. I'll come back to the comments and see if anybody guessed who I am. I know people hate Instagram models because they never admit to it, but I will never admit to my plastic surgery. I mean, I'll probably have plastic surgery again. Have you guessed who I am?
Got pulled over today and the cop comes to my window and goes, license, registration, and proof of insurance. And I look at him, I say, "Officer, I don't have my license on me, I don't have my registration, I don't have any proof of insurance." So then the cop looks at me and goes, "And why the hell were you speeding? I caught you going 90 and a 65. And I look at him and I say, "Officer, the reason I was speeding was because I just killed my girlfriend. I chopped her up and I put her in my trunk." So the cop backs off my window, says, "Listen, boy, wait right here." And he calls every cop in the area to come look at my car. So my car is now surrounded by cops, and the chief of police does a whole check. He checks my trunk, and all he finds is a backpack. So then he comes to my window. So the chief of police comes up to my window and says, "Listen, the officer who pulled you over said you had no driver's license, no proof of insurance, no registration, and that you just chopped up your girlfriend and put her in the trunk. But when I looked in the trunk, all I found was a backpack. I found nothing." And I look at the chief of police and I say, "Yeah, I know. This lying son of a bitch probably told you I'm speeding too, right?"
So this is part 2 of the really bad thing that I did as a child and kept secret. So my daycare instructor, or whatever you call them, basically said that she had lost her tampon in the water. And I'm guessing she said that because she was on her period and she had a tampon in and the water started turning red, and that's the only reason that she could think of. But like, they started checking all the kids and making sure that all the kids were okay and stuff. And when they came up to me and asked me if I was good, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm fine." And so they were looking in the water for like an hour, but there was no tampon. Like, they could not find the tampon. Like, that one white kid, he was not part of the daycare. Like, he wasn't one of the daycare kids. So they evacuated everybody out the pool. Like, nobody was allowed in there. And like, we all got back on the bus and we went back to the daycare, and the daycare instructor, who thought she had lost her tampon, literally talked to all of us and was like, "Things like this can happen as a woman, and da-da, when you get older, you'll understand." But baby, I stayed mute. Ain't nobody know. One person knows, but hopefully she don't see this on her For You page. Sorry about it.